Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, your screen is visible. We can see it.
Okay, thank you. So good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Muyideen Adewale. I'm pleased to present this joint work with Professor Ambrose Azeta, Amina Sambo-Magaji, and other colleagues. Our paper is titled Offline and Edge AI Tutoring in Low and Medium Income Countries. Rapid evidence synthesis and a field-ready validation protocol for energy cost and inclusion. The paper reviews the evidence on offline AI tutoring, and it proposes a practical architecture and validation plan for learning, energy use, cost, and inclusion. So this is the presentation outline. I will explain why offline AI matters, describe our rapid review. I will present the findings, introduce the architecture, the framework we are proposing, which is OEATS. I will talk about the validation protocol and close with the study contribution, limitation, and next steps. Introduction. AI tutoring is often designed for schools with reliable internet service, stable electricity, modern devices, and trained staff. Many schools in low and medium income countries operate differently. Connectivity may be weak, power unusable, devices old or shared, and classroom most times linguistically diverse. So here, offline capability is not mere technical. It determines where the model runs, who controls the curriculum, how updates are delivered, and where student data are stored. So our interest is especially in sustainability focused system where energy, climate, water, and agroecology are taken into consideration. However, current evidence mainly cover offline tutoring generally, not these subjects specifically. So we therefore ask, what evidence exists? Where are the gaps in energy cost and inclusion? And what architecture and validation approach does the present evidence support? So in answering these questions, we carried out rapid literature review. Previous studies provide useful foundations. A cluster randomized trial of an AI mathematics tutor delivered through WhatsApp in Ghana, for instance, shows strong potential, but still rely on cloud connectivity. Related work has also framed AI as strategic infrastructure requiring institutional control, data protection, and language inclusion. So what was missing was a synthesis connecting offline tutoring evidence with energy measurements, total cost of ownership, and equity analysis. So this is the gap our study is addressing. So in terms of methodology, we conducted a rapid evidence synthesis of study published from year 2020 to 2026. We searched, Semantic Scholar, Scopus, and Google Scholar, and use backward and forward citation checking. We began with about 67 records. 11 eventually met the criteria directly, and 4 were added through snowballing, giving 15 studies in total. A second reviewer checked a sample of the screening and instruction. Because the studies delivered greatly in different ways, we used narrative synthesis rather than meta-analysis. So this was a rapid review, not a full Prisma systematic review. So in terms of what the evidence shows that offline and low bandwidth tutoring can support learning. In rural India, for instance, a Raspberry Pi based intervention reported a 38% improvement in comprehension and retention. In the Philippines, a solar powered offline device produced gains of about 30 to 35% over 10 weeks. In Brazil, an offline handwriting and language processing system achieved similar rural and urban outcomes. The Ghana WhatsApp tutor also showed strong results, although in that case, it depended on cloud inference. Together, these studies demonstrate feasibility, but feasibility alone is not enough. So, the central finding is what the study did not measure. Across all 15 studies, none reported workload defined energy use, none provided comprehensive total cost of ownership over several years, and none measure sustainability-focused STEM outcomes. Inclusion evidence was also limited. Only one study examined rural-urban parity, while gender, disability, and home language effects were largely absent. So offline tutoring can work, but the evidence does not yet show that it is affordable, energy efficient, or equitable at scale. In terms of this, to address these gaps, we propose the offline edge AI tutoring stack, which we term as OEATS. At its center is a small school-based microserver hosting a compact language model, curriculum knowledge base, offline assessment engine, and local data store. Students and teachers connect through local Wi-Fi using ordinary phones, tablet laptops, or older computers. Daily use requires no internet. Update can arrive later through USB SD card or a short synchronization link. So the key idea is to keep reference, curriculum, assessment, and learner data under local school control while reducing cloud dependency. So a proposed architecture still requires rigorous testing. We recommend the cluster randomized non-inferiority study over academic term over years. Schools should should be assigned to this architecture, OEATS, or business as usual instruction where possible. A low bandwidth online tutor could provide an additional comparison. The primary outcome will be standardized learning gains in sustainability focused STEM. So the study will also measure energy use, 5-year total cost of ownership, and outcomes by gender, language, disability, and location. Our illustrative calculation suggests about 70 schools and roughly 2,000 learners per ham. These targets should be refined with local pilot data.
Doctor, you have 3 minutes left.
Thank you. I will soon round up. So in terms of contribution to knowledge, this study clarifies what the evidence shows and where the major gaps remain. Second, it introduces a framework as a practical and, hands-on hardware agnostic architecture. Third, it proposes a validation protocol that measures learning energy costs and inclusion together. This moves the discussion from technical feasibility towards evidence for real procurement and scaling decisions. So, limitations of the study. The evidence base contains only 15 studies, and relevant work may exist outside the search strategy. The study were too different, so we were not able to carry out meta-analysis. The architecture we are proposing has not yet been field tested, so it is speed, in terms of speed, capacity, energy requirements, those still remain the design targets. So future work will carry out a pilot where these proposed validation protocols and all the targets will be thoroughly measured. So conclusively, offline and edge tutoring is feasible in low resource setting, but the evidence is not yet strong enough for confident large-scale investments. Across 15 studies, no single evaluation combined learning outcome with workload-defined energy use, comprehensive cost reporting, and inclusion analysis. So the proposed framework we have put in place will respond by localizing the model and measure all these parameters together. These are the selected references used in the study. The full references are in the paper itself. Thank you very much for your time and attention. On behalf of my co-author, I welcome your questions.
Thank you very much, Dr.